exclusive triple-header action on NFL Network kicks off with the Vikings and Bengals inside of Paycor Stadium. As you take a look at the AFC playoff standings, the Cincinnati Bengals are one of a half-dozen teams at 7-6 because of the tiebreaker situation. That's only good enough for the 10th seed. The Vikings also 7-6. They're punching their ticket as the 6th seed right now, but if they win out, they will be division champs for the second straight year. Welcome inside the broadcast booth alongside Jason McCourty. I am Chris Rose, and what an electrifying day of football here on NFL Network.
Oh, it's December, and this is what we love. Some of these teams are going to make it one to remember. Some at the end of the month will be packing, getting ready for a vacation in the offseason.
The Minnesota Vikings super excited because Justin Jefferson is a go. He was knocked out of last week's game with an injured chest before halftime. He can't wait to ball against his old teammate, Jamar Chase.
The last time he's seen the end zone was October 1st, so last week he's watching the game on his phone in an ambulance. This week he's lined up, he's out here, and he is ready to go against this young secondary.
And he is throwing to a new starting quarterback. Nick Mullins is the fourth different Viking signal caller in their last 7 games.
Due to injury, he had to watch Joshua Dobbs come in and be the quarterback for this team. He's been looking forward to this opportunity. He's ready to go. He said quick decisions, accurate footballs all day long for him.
And for Cincinnati, one JB is replacing another JB. Jake Browning has literally saved the Bengals season.
This guy's been the talk of the NFL the last 2 weeks. The way he is absolutely lighting it up. Today's going to be a different type of challenge from this Brian Flores-led defense and all the pressure they bring.
We have got a full day of football here exclusively on NFL Network. We will get a chance to see Jake Browning right off the bat because the Vikings won the coin toss and elected to defer. A sensational day here on December 16th. Temperature 51 degrees, minimal wind. We are ready for some football. Bengals coming off a 34-14 win in this building over the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, Greg Joseph, who will boot it away, the lone points in a Vikings 3-0 win last week out in Las Vegas. Just the 8th 3-0 game in the NFL since 1950.
Electrifying, Chris.
Travion Williams back to return the kick at his own goal line, and we are underway on Saturday on NFL Network. Ball heads out of the end zone. Let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team, Steve Weish, with more on the Bengals signal caller. Steve?
Yeah, Chris, you know, I was just talking to Orlando Brown, the left tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals, before the game, and he told me one thing that's working is that head coach Zach Taylor has been in his bag, the way he's calling his plays, with the way he's setting up Jake Browning for success in the pass game and getting it to running back Joe Mixon. Back to you guys.
All right, Steve, thank you. Browning will start in the shotgun with Joe Mixon coming off his best game of the season next to him. Vikings, they haven't stood firm on this first drive, but boy, they have been good. And here, take a look, Next Gen Stats powered by AWS.
Minnesota leading the NFL and bringing 6 or more blitzers. They are not afraid to heat your quarterback up and bring pressure. But on the other side of it, highest in the NFL at dropping 8+ in coverage. You even see the big defensive tackle, Harrison Phillips right there. He's getting in coverage. They cover up all the zones. They force Russell Wilson to take the sack right there. Brian Flores has been really good, taking a Vikings defense with a lot of the same personnel that struggled last year, putting them in the top 5 in a lot of categories this year on defense, and a lot of it has to do mixing up the looks, bringing pressure, but also dropping guys back and playing zone.
For Nick Mullins, this is his 18th NFL start. He made 16 of those with the San Francisco 49ers, 8 in the 2018 season. 8 more in the 2020 season. He was a star at Southern Miss. But this is a guy that just understands the role of the backup quarterback. And here on back in Cincinnati, it's the start of Saturday Showdown, our exclusive triple header on NFL Network. Following the Bengals and Vikings, it'll be the Colts and Steelers. And then the nightcap, the Lions playing host to the Denver Broncos. Pat Jones knocks him out of bounds. Time for what really happened, presented by Progressive.
Lou Anarumo has these guys making it look like they're going to blitz. Those two are going to drop out in coverage, and then the safety is going to come on the blitz with the other one going back to the middle of the field, and they're not able to pick it up as the offensive line is looking to slide to the right. Ham's able to pick one of the guys up in the backfield, but Hendrickson and Pratt get to Mullins before he can find anybody open down the field.
And for Hendrickson, gets credited with a half sack, tying his single season best with 14. Well, this is the way it has gone. Kirk Cousins was off to arguably the best start of his career before he tore his Achilles in Week 8. Josh Dobbs, he made 4 starts and actually came in 5 days after being traded from the Cardinals to Minnesota because Jaron Hall, the rookie out of BYU, was concussed in Week 9. So it has been a quarterback carousel, one to write home about for the Minnesota Vikings. Dobbs, by the way, the 3rd emergency quarterback on this afternoon. Not even the backup. He's getting worked on the sidelines. And a quick reminder that coming up after us, the Saturday Showdown triple header continues. Steelers and Colts, 2 more 7 and 6 teams. Then the Broncos square up against the Lions in prime time. Saturday triple header continues next only on NFL Network and stream on mobile with NFL Plus. As you take a quick look at the AFC playoff picture, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Colts, the Broncos, all playing on NFL Network, all checking in at 7 and 6. Mike Hilton with a critical goal line interception to keep Minnesota off the scoreboard. Coming up on the Lexus Halftime Show, Andrew Siciliano, Steve Smith Sr., Gerald McCoy break down the first half of this game and look ahead to the second game of our triple header between the Steelers and Colts. That's all coming your way on the Lexus Halftime Show. And I can see that the Grinch listened to Zach Taylor's plea this week.
Chris, I want you to look at me the way the Grinch is looking at that
young lady
in the stands as well.
I got it. Well, we still have the second half, so maybe. Half. Each team scored on its first drive and then nothing after that. So that's the end of the first half with the score Minnesota 7, Cincinnati 3. The Lexus Halftime Show is coming up next right after these messages.
Want more stats? Just ask Siri. Who leads the league in touchdown passes?
You know where he is? This way?
Am I glad to see you?
Back in Cincinnati where the Vikings lead the Bengals 7-3 as you take a look at the first half numbers. And the Vikings nearly 200 total yards. They've moved the ball up and down the field as we welcome you back inside the broadcast booth. Jason McCourty, Chris Rose, Steve Weiss joining us downstairs. And, you know, Kevin O'Connell made the move to Nick Mullins this week, and I think the tempo of the offense has been great. Until you get to the red zone, and then Nick Mullins, that thing in his DNA where he turns the ball over, it's gone the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's shown up. And for this Vikings team overall, Flores and the defense has done a really good job of limiting the Bengals. And like you said, Chris, they're moving the ball up and down the field, but the Bengals have been able to come away with those turnovers. And then for Jake Browning on the offensive side, they just haven't done enough. And this is Mullins right here. He's in the red zone, a double team on Jefferson. He doesn't recognize it. And then this one, there's just a bad decision. He's going down on the sack and decides to try to chuck it away and hits B.J. Hill, and he's able to walk away with that interception from the ground nonetheless.
Anybody check to see if B.J. Hill's among the league leaders in interceptions now? That's consecutive weeks.
If he was talking trash last week to the DBs, it's only going to get worse this week. B.J. Hill, the big man showing they got hands too.
So the Vikings missed on an opportunity to double dip there at the end of the first half and here in the second half, as Kene Nwanwu is standing in the middle of his own end zone, ready to return the kick. McPherson boots it away, and Nwanwu is going to return it from the 2. Goes all the way across field with a flag down behind the play. And so it looks like the Vikings will start this drive deep in their own end.
Foul. Outside block. Receiving team number 33. Half to this the goal. First down.
That's on Brian Asamoah, a native Ohioan in the Columbus area. All right, let's check in with Steve Weiss. Steve?
Well, hey guys, Viking coach Kevin O'Connell said that he challenged his team to play better in all 3 phases. In fact, the best they played all season. He also said he told quarterback Nick Mullins, do not play hero ball.
All right, makes some sense, particularly in the red zone. Field goals are good things too.
Yes, it took points off the board. We're looking at a 7-3 score, but in reality, the Vikings should be up at least 13-3, possibly 21-3 if they take advantage of those opportunities down there in the red zone.
Run. Interesting season for the Minnesota Vikings. First 5 games, a 1-4 record, even though Kirk Cousins was playing the best of his career. Then in the middle, they lost Cousins during a 5-game winning streak, and with a bunch of quarterbacks, lost their next 2 to Denver and Chicago. And then finally a big 3-0 win in Las Vegas last week. And that young lady apparently made the return trip from Vegas, a little tired. So now Jake Browning will obviously be using Chase Brown, a guy that was a 5th-round pick out of Illinois and has just burst onto the scene in their last 2 wins.
He has, and it's been so fun to watch him. He's dealt with some injuries earlier in the season. An identical twin, much like myself, has gotten in the lineup, and he just has brought a different spark to this offense when he has the ball in his hands.
His twin Sydney, a 3rd-round pick, a safety for the Philadelphia Eagles, will be playing Monday night against Seattle. We got a good one to kick off our Saturday showdown triple header action on NFL Network. The Bengals are down 7, and tomorrow on NFL Network, our crew gets you ready for every Week 15 matchup, including the big-time showdown between the Cowboys and Bills. NFL Game Day morning tomorrow at 9, only here on NFL Network. As for your AFC playoff picture, the Bengals, one of a half-dozen AFC teams sitting at 7-6. They're currently the 10 seed. The tiebreakers aren't pretty for them either. No wins in divisional play. And in the conference, they have struggled as well at 3-6. But looking for a come-from-behind win against the Vikings, the drive starts out with a dump down to Joe Mixon for a gain of 7. NFC playoff picture, the Vikings entrenched as the 6th seed right now, but if they win out, Jason, they're division champs.
And Kevin O'Connell made mention to that. They are well aware that as a football team, like you said, with 2 games down the stretch against the Detroit Lions, they'll have their opportunities at that division title for 2 years in a row.
Home against the Lions next week, home against the Packers. They finish in Motown.
And you mentioned it, Chris. You're talking about Kadarius Toney last week against the Buffalo Bills. You see him right there. He's lined up offsides, past the ball. And this is a call that you don't always see on the offensive side, but it was called. And now this game, we have an offside by Hendrickson to be able to kick a field goal to win this game.
At 7-6, the Vikings check in currently as the 6th seed, but they have bigger aspirations. They win out, they will be division champs. The Bengals, one of a half-dozen teams sitting at 7-6, good enough to be the 10th seed at this point. Don't forget about the Colts and the Steelers coming your way here on NFL Network. Both those teams at 7-6. It's going to be a happy holiday season for some squad out there. Will it be the Bengals or the Vikings? And he may not be Joe Burrow, but a different JB is making his name here in the Queen City.
It wasn't always pretty for him today, especially in the first half. But he just continues to fight, and he continued in this second half to go play after play. 3 straight drives, putting up 21 straight points to put his team back in this ball game. They forced overtime, not able to do anything on the first drive. One play, getting outside the pocket, getting it to Tyler Boyd, putting him in position, and McPherson does the rest. I don't think there was ever a doubt on that Bengals sideline that he was putting that ball through the uprights, and they were walking away with the victory.
For just the 5th time in 155 times, the Bengals, when trailing by 14 or more points entering the 4th quarter, they have come back.